So, welcome back, gamers. We are playing X-Men, the arcade game right now.
That's right. Gonna get my Dazzler on.
Guess we'll go with Wolverine. Now, I really like this cab because it had 6 players.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, you don't ever see a 6-player arcade game.
And I can't think of any other 6-player arcade games.
Now, this is the only one that really comes to mind. I guess there was Killer Queen, which you can see at Ground Control, but that one's a 10-player.
Mm-hmm.
But that one's also pretty recent. I think this is the only one that's really a classic that had that many players at all.
Right. Now, I'm actually not too familiar with Dazzler. I always thought she was Jubilee when I first played this. Because my exposure to the X-Men as a child was the Fox TV show.
Yeah, that was true for most people. Now, this game was actually based on an earlier cartoon called Pride of the X-Men.
Okay.
And that actually only made it to a pilot episode. They didn't actually do a whole series. And that was back during the early 90s, probably like 91, 92. It happened about the same time that Marvel had the license for the RoboCop animated series.
Okay.
So they were trying to do X-Men as the follow-up to that. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out until the later one that came out on Fox. But Dazzler was a character that was pretty popular in the comics back then.
Back then.
Yeah.
I've always liked the idea of the Sentinels as a bad guy.
Yeah, they're a pretty good, just generic army villain, similar to like the Foot Soldiers in the TMNT series.
Mm-hmm.
They
And
work out really well.
I was excited with the newer X-Men movie where they featured it when they went back in time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess it was.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. I'm anxious to see if there's any Sentinels in the new one, the Age of Apocalypse.
I also used to be really into Versus. Upper Deck Entertainment had this card game, and you could play either as Marvel or DC. And one of my main decks was a Sentinel deck.
Were you a Curve Sentinel player?
Maybe.
Curses.
Yeah, Sentinels were pretty popular in the metagame, and then later got in the Teen Titans Go. So
I don't know, I used to have a pretty sweet Fantastic Four deck that could tear apart Curve Sentinels real well.
nice.
Had some good reinforcement tactics. And get the Fantastic Cars going, you overpower the Sentinels.
Oh,
So we just proved that Wolverine is not as strong as Dazzler.
So you have limited specials in this, and it doesn't cost a life, I believe.
No, you've got the little orbs up by your life meter. So
Yeah.
you've got, I think, two mutant abilities per life.
Right. I always thought it was BS when they would take life instead of having a separate indicator.
Oh,
for different
yeah.
Specials.
And that was a pretty standard thing for a lot of these beat-em-up games back in the day. It was like, oh, yeah, you use your special attack, but it hurts you.
Yeah. It's just eating your quarters.
Yep. What's weird is that they kept that going with games that made their way to, like, Super Nintendo and Sega
Okay.
Genesis. It's like, well, if you're no longer trying to get my quarters, then what's the point?
Right. I like Storm in the cartoon. I don't know about this. Like, there's Age of Apocalypse Storm. It's different, and this Storm looks different also.
But Storm from the cartoon always spoke like this!
Yes.
I would have to say that from the cartoon, my favorite character was definitely Jubilee. And
Absolutely.
yeah, she's probably my favorite character from all of X-Men. She doesn't get a whole lot of love these days, but I've always been a fan.
I see a lot of Jubilee fans, but also a lot of Kitty Pryde fans recently.
Oh, yeah. Wonder if that has anything to do with Ellen Page playing her in the recent movies.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Everybody gotta love their Juno.
So that's cool. The floor actually took out one of the Sentinels. You don't usually see that, especially with like the TMNT games.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Foot soldiers couldn't fall in the manhole covers or anything like that.
Right.
And now the dangers here are for everybody.
I thought-
Mutant and mutant hunter alike.
As a child, I always called baloney on that.
Right?
Of course, you have to have industrial elevators everywhere in any beat 'em up.
Yeah, I always wondered, like, why do the evil villains create their bases in such a way where they're so confusing? Like, what's the purpose of these evil floor vents? If I was an evil mastermind and this was my base, I certainly wouldn't want to walk around.
I know. Get up in the middle of the night, try to get yourself some evil milkshake.
Right.
You're gonna step on a floor vent. Or in a manhole cover.
Not conducive. I always thought that it was interesting that they gave Storm a wand in this one. Like, I've never seen her use a wand in anything. None of the cartoons, none of the comics. She doesn't carry a wand. It's specific to this game. Very weird. I think Konami might have missed a memo somewhere or misinterpreted something.
Konami missing something? No.
Wait, people like Metal Gear?
I used to love Konami. I thought that was one of my favorite companies, like NES era.
Oh, for a long time they were pumping out great stuff. Now they make pachinko machines and slot machines.
I do love those, but
cell phone games.
Not what I'm looking to play.
I think you need to broaden your horizons. Think of all the potential in Let's Play Pachinkos online.
Oh my gosh. I'd like to, but they don't let me go back in the pachinko parlors anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I'm kidding.
Dishonorable.
So another trope of a 90s beat 'em up, the bad guy flashes red when they're losing or...
Yeah, that's when you know you're really hurting him.
Yes. Can you imagine just like, you know, some UFC fight nowadays, and then Ronda Rousey just starts blinking red.
That's when you need to go for the choke out. Like, oh, she's blinking, get her!
So this is the Cyclops I remember. Looks more like it's from the cartoon.
Yeah, he's pretty classic. He had that look to him for, goodness, a couple decades in the comics.
I'm kind of surprised. I don't think Jean's in this one.
No, she's not.
Jean's such a classic character.
I think at this time in the comics, she was actually dead.
Oh.
Yeah, this was right after Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
This actually shows some of the first appearances of Kitty Pryde. So it's before she got a costume, before she was really a full-fledged member of the X-Men. And you end up saving her and Professor X at the end of the game. Spoilers!
Wow. I've seen this cab done with flat screens. So I think Ground Control in Portland has a machine that they've taken away the tube TVs, the monitors, and it's done with 2 large flat screens.
I think the one at Ground Control is actually one really large widescreen.
Dang.
Yeah, but traditionally the 6-player version of this one was 2 CRTs. And you always had that weird stripe down the middle.
And one always seemed to not work quite as well, like the colors were slightly off.
That seems about right. So yeah, this cab came in 3 different flavors. There was a 2-player version, a 4-player version, which you're seeing here, and then the 6-player cab, which was huge.
These bears. But that's Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or did you ever see the meme with Oprah?
No. Oh. Is it one of those you get it?
Yeah, except it's, you get bees, and then she puts her hands out and bees start flying out.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty hilarious stuff.
Don't get me started on Oprah.
Oh, it's too late. We done started.
Man. So, Oprah has a house in Hawaii, and she has a special Oprah road that allows her to get to the other side of the island that only Oprah could use.
Must be nice.
Yeah. It's one of the nicest drives going to the other side of the island, going to Hana, but it takes forever, and without Oprah's special road, it takes several hours to get around.
Sounds like we need some Oprah costumes.
Sounds like it.
Oh, don't mind us. It's just Oprah and Gail. What?
Aloha.
Pass the poi. I do like me some Spam. I tell you what.
Ooh. I was just talking about that this morning. My favorite breakfast, rice, some type of protein, usually Spam or Portuguese sausage, and eggs.
Yeah, that's a pretty good time. I could definitely get down with that.
It's so popular that even McDonald's in Hawaii serves that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like fast food restaurants have that. Which is weird because I never thought of it as like a Asian breakfast type.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Asian in general or if it's really specific to Hawaiian. But that being said, I mean, here we are, two different kinds of Asians. We both love it, so maybe it does have that universal appeal.
It's healthy for you or something.
Sure. Can't possibly be bad for you.
This game is eating through my quarters.
You're dying a lot.
I know.
You gotta play as Dazzler, man.
I guess. Now, I found it interesting. You also couldn't have two of the same characters. Like, I couldn't be Dazzler also if I wanted to.
And you know, I don't think that anybody ever fought over getting to be Dazzler.
But you know, Wolverine or Cyclops.
Very true.
And you had to stand in a certain spot. Like, you couldn't just select? Or was it...
The 6-player cabinet, they all had a corresponding coin slot. So yeah, you had to pick the specific character. I think Dazzler was always off on the side at that weird angle.
Oh.
No respect, I tells you, no respect.
I don't understand how Colossus could take that much damage. I mean, he's like metal and...
Yeah, exactly. Nothing should be hurting him. Speaking of metal, there's his awesome scream when he uses his power. Like that.
I wonder how many times I had to practice that. Like, it's just not quite right.
Right. We're gonna need a clean take on that
We'll
one.
do that again.
I want to meet the voice actor that did that. We'll have to beat this one, watch the credits, and see who did the voice acting for Colossus. Send that dude a letter.
Man, I call these...
Yeah, the rocket sleds are definitely cheap.
Speaking of cheap, smacking when he's down. I can't think of really any other beat 'em ups where you do that as a main attack.
Yeah, there's a lot of unique stuff going on in this one.
You know what would be a fun hack for this?
Changing
Deadpool.
Dazzler to Jubilee.
That too. Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool would be amazing in this.
His special is he stops the game and talks to you, though.
Right? He has an intervention with the Sentinels. Yeah, it would be fun to hack this one and do the different eras.
Oh, okay.
You could do like 2000 X-Men. You could do the modern X-Men here in the 2010s. Do the old 60s X-Men with Jean Grey, Beast, Angel, Iceman.
Now, was that the golden era?
You know, the X-Men actually weren't around in the Golden, so they came in at the dawn of the Silver Age.
Okay.
So it is kind of weird. In the grand scheme of things, the X-Men are still basically a modern comic. It was a good long while where you had your Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and the X-Men just weren't around.
What is Dazzler's power?
So Dazzler has the power to turn sound into light.
Okay.
And the more intense the sound, the more intense the light, to the point where she can make explosions by listening to rock music.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So in that one pilot episode of the cartoon, they showed her with a Walkman, and she had the earbuds in. Well, not even earbuds; they were just like the big headset. And so she was listening to really loud music and causing explosions in the danger room. So kind of a unique ability. There's not really any other characters that have that power set.
Yeah. Try some Kurt Wagner. So, I think it's cool. I didn't realize this. His special allows me to blink out of being gripped or being attacked.
I didn't realize that either. That's awesome.
There's twice now where my character was grabbed and about to get hit.
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage for him. Yeah, Dazzler's ability in this one works kind of similar to Colossus, except you'll notice that she kind of throws it forward.
Okay.
Where Colossus, it kind of emanates from him. So it actually makes the Colossus special a lot better than Dazzler's. She can still get hit because she's outside the epicenter.
Oh. I just walked off the edge of the screen.
Oh yeah, the falling danger.
It's real.
So I will say that I think that Dazzler's power is probably very, very strong in this game. You'll notice it takes out a lot of things that even yours didn't.
Absolutely.
So I think that they did that to balance her out because she doesn't have the advantages like Colossus does. Oh,
I'm not
Frost.
familiar. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
Yeah, that's her classic costume. Back when she was leader of the Hellfire Club.
She's not related at all to Mystique, is she?
No.
Are they throwing money?
It kind of seems that way, yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot that they had White Queen in here as a mid-boss, not even an end boss. That was kind of weird. That seems almost like a throwaway.
Yeah.
I mean, when you give a boss fight to characters like Pyro and the Blob, the Wendigo, but White Queen doesn't warrant her own boss stage, that's a little bizarre.
And we're getting the really big Sentinels. No, they're the same size. They just look larger for some reason.
I think that there are some big ones that come up. You'll see them like stick their head in the background. Yeah, there you go. And he's going to spit out more of the little guys.
I always thought these were from the other dimension, like Mojo Jojo.
Oh, yeah.
Have that kind of look.
Yeah, pretty similar. These guys are the Reavers.
Okay.
They're actually part of Mr. Sinister's crew. So they're mercenaries that were promised powers. And as you can see, by powers, it was like, well, we'll take half your body, we'll give you some tank treads, turn you into a mindless killing machine. Mr. Sinister is kind of a jerk like that.
Bad guy, a jerk? What?
Right. Hey, remember all those times where Juggernaut fought with a bazooka? It's another one of those weird situations like Storm and her wand.
He's got that chest armor,
Yes.
you can call it.
It's not just for ladies.
Must be an RPG.
Exactly. I don't really like the look of it, but the stats were really good.
Remember that one time Wolverine shot weird things out of his claws?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I cannot get up.
Oh, jerks. Threw me right off the side. Nice. That's weird. That killed all of the big guys with the guns, but it didn't kill the little sentinel. This was another trope of beat-em-ups that I always thought was kind of funny. It was like, oh, we're just going to throw a bunch of the first boss at you. No rhyme, no reason.
How does that work?
Yeah, there really is only one pyro.
See, the one I'm thinking of from the X-Men movie, it's Mr. like Multiplier or Mr.
Oh, Multiple
Multiplying
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can kind of get away with that.
that's true. They didn't even utilize him in this one. So, have you ever played The Punisher on the arcade?
I have not.
Excellent game, and the Reavers actually make a guest appearance as villains in that one as well.
Okay.
Which is weird because they're not really Punisher villains, but I guess he kind of takes out any kind of mercenary.
I'm not super familiar with the Punisher, except for the movies and maybe a little bit of the Netflix Punisher.
I would say that the most recent Netflix version of him in the Daredevil series was pretty accurate.
Okay.
So if you've got that, you've got the basic gist of the character. And really, I gotta say that Daredevil series in general was really well done. I was very impressed.
Keep trying the super, but it keeps knocking me down.
Yep, they're not having it. Of course there's one more.
It's my final form.
Right? Its power level's over 9,000.
Are we on the moon?
Possibly. Like whalers?
Like Scrooge McDuck?
We're whalers on the moon.
Oh.
We carry a harpoon. But I'll take the Scrooge McDuck reference as well. I gotta say, that level, the moon in DuckTales 1, probably my favorite music on all of Nintendo games.
I'd say it's my top 3. That and Wily's Castle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is some great stuff.
So there's definitely a delay in the special. What?
Yep, he's back.
I call shenanigans.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Get them together.
Not a bad idea.
Now, we have not progressed, but try to just work on the bosses. So it's kind of like, are you letting the next boss come too soon, too early?
I don't know. We get them all together, we can hit them all at the same time with the mutant powers. I think we handled them pretty easily there.
Are mutant powers combined?
We are Captain Dazzler. Yeah. Growing up, I always had the unfortunate fate of looking an awful lot like Mati, little heart kid.
Oh no.
The worst power ever.
But did you at least get a monkey?
Oh, I wish. I asked many Christmases. I think that was right there behind my pony that I never got.
Oh well. Keep trying to use that special, I keep getting hit.
There it is.
Mystique.
Oh, psych!
Bet you didn't see that coming. This is the worst Hunger Games ever. Probably down like $15 in coin right now.
But so worth it.
my strategy to keep losing lives to get more mutant power.
It's a pretty sound strategy. And thus the universe was saved. But for how long?
So I'm curious for you guys out there, who's your favorite X-Men and why? Go ahead and leave that in the comments below.
Now keep in mind that any answer outside of Jubilee is obviously wrong, but it's a free country, you're allowed to be incorrect.
Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at my website, studiomonoandme.com. Take a look there for any of the projects that I'm working on. You can also find me on my podcast, Bits, Bases, and Baskets, which comes out once a week.
Guys, definitely check that out. Subscribe. Leave a review. If you like this kind of thing, all this nerd culture, you definitely will like it. Until next time, I'm the Doctor. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.